This eventually becomes this.
Global Industries, life simplified.
Daddy, look how real they are.
Our brand new series.
We let these take over the world.
Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And I came across this article. I was just reading through it earlier today. And what really stood out to me about this was the mention of AI brains. Okay, and this is in line with the, it's not the intro, right? It's the continuous push for embodied AI. Okay, sometimes you'll hear embedded, but it's really, I guess it's really embodied AI. But anyway, let's read this headline real quick, and you'll find this pretty interesting because this is the direction and the origins of that merging of artificial intelligence and high-tech advanced robotics, right? And that's what they call this. So it says China's Alibaba unveils AI brains designed to power the next generation of robots. And something interesting about this artificial intelligence, this AI, whatever you want to call it, is it's moving differently at different speeds, different pace, at a different pace in different sectors, right? In the sort of tech sector / world, and more of the consumer side, you're starting to see a mass adoption of AI, right? AI use in websites, and there's some websites that are completely, or for the most part, like the onboarding process, you might say, is even just like a voice agent that just walks you through everything. And so there's this adoption of like, just some are even just building what they call a harness, or some is just a wrapper around some AI or LLM tool somewhere, whatever the case is there, right? And then you have the other side of things where you have those that are advancing these models, the actual core at part of it, to make them smarter, to make them more human-like, even though they don't have they're not alive, they're not living, right? They don't have the emotional intelligence, right, naturally in them. They can learn and then portray themselves to seem like they do. So with this AI brains, right, as it says here, Chinese firm Alibaba has launched its first embodied AI model family, which links large language models with real-world robotic actions. And that's where you get your obviously later on down the line, but that's where you get your iRobot and so on and so forth from. Because you can build a robot that moves very fluid. I mean, they've showed videos of that, where you have robots that are able to run at quick speeds. They're able to dance, to even do martial arts. They're moving pretty fluid, like they're not moving this rigid form. But now the actual intelligence of how to move autonomously, like an AI would. When you speak to some of these chat bots, whether it's through the texting interface or through voice, or even if it's a visual agent, an avatar, sometimes it can even feel very real. It sounds human. The way it talks, it pauses, it laughs, and they're working on making it more, or seem more aware emotionally as well, right? It can act angry, it can act sad, it can act, curious, and all of these things. So when you take that and then you merge that with the actual body, that's where you get embodied AI. Okay. And that's the one thing that keeps people, look, if you have people today that are deceived by a voice agent that they know it's not, the only way they access it is either through their phone or their computer. So they know it's bound to that. They know that it's not outside of that. So clearly it's not real. It's not a real human. And yet some people still fall for it. Some people still are deceived by it. So how much more for when you actually see it physically? It says the Quen robot suit was developed by what is called these Ali's lab, and is undergoing pilot testing with selected Ali Cloud Enterprise clients. And just know they're not the only ones working on this. It's never really the case. They have competitors, a lot of competitors, and that's what makes this move very quickly, right? That's what I was going to say earlier, is that the advancing of this is very, very quick. Okay, it's very quick. So it says here the suit comprises 3 models focused on navigation, manipulation, and world modeling for robots operating in physical environments. Because it's not as simple as just, oh, go here and do this, right? You need the part of the robot that understands what you're saying, that can take in the inputs from its environments, either things that are coming in through the microphone or through the camera, and or even things that it hits or touches, and then use that to reason and sort of know what to do, right? How to actually move. So it's like a 3-step process, right? It intakes information, that's the input. It reasons about it, and then it outputs actions: walk, stop, wave your hand, smile, speak, those kinds of things. And it has to do that in real time. So if it's walking towards you, it sees a human being, then it knows, oh, okay, there's somebody in my way, let me step out of the way. So in real time, it has to take that input. Somebody just stepped in the way. Do I just run into them? No, I got to be able to say, oh, stop, process. Somebody just got in the way. What do you do now? Obviously, you're not going to run into them. You're not A-trained. So you got to stop or turn to the side or do something else. Ali said the models enable machines to perceive, reason, and interact with the real world. Exactly what I just described here. Joining a growing global push, which they said last year, that 2026, they were going to push for this embodied AI. Okay, to advance embodied AI beyond traditional chatbot applications. So now Chat GPT ain't gonna be on your computer alone, but chat is gonna be in your home. Now you go from, hey, draft this email for me, to, hey, go and make this food for me, or hey, go and fold my laundry, or hey, go and feed my cat, or go, can you grab that remote for me? Those physical things there. And as it does more and more of that, they use everything as training data, and it gets better and better and better at it, and then eventually it's seamless, and it gets on par with humans in terms of like how it moves and so on. And then eventually they make these claims that it surpassed humans and now they're superior, blah 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 blah. Anyway, robots meet reasoning. Ali says Quen family of AI models has become very good at understanding the physical world. These models can recognize objects, understand spatial relationships, follow complex visual instructions, and reason about real-world environments. For example, a model can understand a command such as go to the kitchen, find the red cup, pick it up, and place it on the shelf. Now, this is the part most people don't think about, but it's also, I mean, the developers of this have to consider is when you deal with like computer or software, you have to literally tell it the hard way. You got to tell it exactly what to do. You have to tell it literally exactly what to do. It doesn't infer. Okay. So what they're doing now is they build abstractions, like layers above that raw, archaic, tell me exactly what to do. So you as the user don't have to tell whatever it is, a computer or a AI model, what to do. When you go to use your computer and you move the mouse, right? You move the mouse and then you double click on an application. There's a whole lot of things that actually happen for the app to open. And if you had to tell your actual computer exactly what to do, oh, when I move the mouse, capture the coordinates of the mouse, and then render the cursor on the screen at a different pixel over here. And then in order to do that, when I double click, I want you to load this from secondary storage to the main memory, and then I want the operating system to grab. If you had to tell it exactly what to do right there, you wouldn't use it, right? So that's what they do. They build these layers on top. So all you do is double click, and they handle the rest. How does a double click equal the application opening? So what they're trying to do is get to the point where you don't have to tell, right? Once you have this embodied AI, this sim or this iRobot, you don't have to tell it. You don't have to be so specific with it. Go to the kitchen, open the fridge, grab the bread, take it out of the fridge, put it on the table, open the bag, grab 2 slices, close the bag, put the bag back in the fridge. But before doing that, you have to open the fridge door, put the bag in there, close the fridge door, come back, turn around. No, bruh, nobody's trying to do that. So they want to get these models to the point where they can understand commands like this, like make me a sandwich. You would say make me a sandwich. They would handle the model being able to understand, okay, what does that mean? Oh, okay, well, if I'm in the living room, I need to go to the kitchen, right? I need to find the ingredients needed for a sandwich. I need to look in the fridge to grab those ingredients and then start preparing it. So it should be able to do all those things, right? That's eventually where they want to get to. And they're moving very quickly. Some are probably already there, but just not in a, when it comes to inventing these things, sometimes the actual process of making it is relatively quicker than testing it and making sure that it's available and safe for customer use. Because even some of these products, whether it's a self-driving car or some product they release with technology and software that is highly controlling it, that's after a lot of testing, right? And then they still, somebody will still find something wrong with it, or there'll still be an accident here or there. But that's after a lot of testing. So sometimes that's what takes a long time before they come and release something. It's because they can show you demo videos, but you wonder, why does it take so long after that to just release it? Because they got to go through the testing, the packaging, the making sure that, okay, if a user uses it, it's safe and blah, all these other things. But going back to the article, it says, however, understanding a task is different from actually performing it. While a visual language model can describe the steps needed to complete a task, it cannot directly control a robot's movements. See, and I'm pretty sure while they're building these things, if they had some level of spirituality, they would appreciate the Most High that much more, because it takes a lot to try and even mimic a fraction of the Lord's creation. Then you realize, damn, this is the human body is or even just a body is a lot more complex than you thought. So it says the challenge is connecting human language and visual understanding with the motor actions required to interact with the physical world. Meaning, how do you take somebody's request as a embodied AI, take a user's request, translate that into what you have to do, and then actually do it? Like, how do you connect the artificial intelligence, the instruction layer, to make the actual robot move, get up, move your left leg, move your right leg, sending those signals? Like, that integration is not easy. The problem is difficult because robot training data is very different from internet data. Yeah, because they train a lot of these artificial intelligence models on internet data because there's a lot of information and it's intelligence. Most of what it's doing is spitting out information at you, whether it's by text or by voice. So that it can just gather. It's like it's a brain, right? It can gather it off of the internet, learn it, and then it can give you answers. But you can't use the internet to train it on how to physically move in a robotic body. So it's 2 different kinds of data, as it says here. Information collected from navigation systems, robotic arms, vehicles, and cameras comes in different formats and is expensive to gather. And that's why some of them are like, look, we'll pay you if you allow us to use the information from, let's say, your meta glasses, right? Whenever you're using your meta glasses, just turn it on so we can gather that information and use that to train our models. Because it's like we need real world interactions, so we need it from people, right? So as I said, it's expensive to gather. Simply combining all this data often creates conflicts rather than improving performance. To address this, Ali developed the Quen robot suit, which includes 3 specialized models. Quen Robot Nav focuses on movement and navigation. It helps robots follow instructions, navigate to locations, track targets, and support autonomous driving. According to its website, Quen Robot Manip sounds like short for manipulation, focuses on physical interaction. It enables robots to grasp, move, and manipulate objects using a large training dataset collected from different robotic systems. Quen Robot World acts as a world model, predicting how environments may change and helping robots understand the likely outcomes of their actions. So these things you're seeing, because when you watch iRobot, or you watch Subservience, or you watch some futuristic sci-fi movie or TV show, most of the time they might show a flashback, or they might show a little bit of information in the beginning of the movie or the show, and then they'll jump, and the show takes place in that future. So a lot of the things that are abstracted away are, how did you get there? What was the starting process, right? Where were the AI companies, right, that were creating this and coming out and saying, oh, now we can do this, now we can do that. A lot of the movie, you ain't interested in seeing that part. You want to see the end product. So what we're seeing in real life is how you get to those things that you see in those movies. And it's a matter of time. It's only a matter of time, because they're moving very quickly. Okay, and they're building on top of each other. And I'm not going to read all that extra stuff in there, but the point is to show that this is where they're getting. Now, when you read in the book of Daniel, I'll pull that up real quick. Daniel, I believe it's the 12th chapter. Yeah, Daniel 12:4, and it reads, "But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased." And why? Because in the end, which we are in now, it is actually necessary that knowledge, especially of technology, increases to the level that it is now, and even a little bit more. Because when you look at these end time prophecies that are written in the scriptures, most of them require high level of technology that didn't exist at the time when these visions were showed to the prophets and received by the men of old. Nuclear missiles is a high level of technology to be able to harness and manipulate the elements and build a actual structure and system around it, because you have different types of missiles to be able to deploy warheads for the functionality to where the mouth opens up and then more launch out of it, right? The silos, that launch these missiles, and then the missiles, they're built in a way that they propel themselves, and one part takes it to a certain distance, then it breaks off, then the other part carries on. You have heat-seeking missiles, you have missile defense systems. Like, all of these things are high-level technology, at least compared to what the world has seen. Same thing, and that's needed to fulfill prophecy concerning World War III, right? Isaiah 9:5 talks about that, about this war not being fought like the conventional wars, but with burning and fuel of fire by way of these missiles. And then you have the mark of the beast. That can't be accomplished without a technological advancement, without an increase in knowledge. If we were still using the technology that existed thousands of years ago, how would we get to the point of these prophecies being fulfilled? Right? We wouldn't be able to. Okay? So knowledge shall increase, necessary, on this side, even though they're using it for left hand things to achieve a evil goal, an agenda. it's still necessary that it increases. It's still necessary that they do these things. That's why they're able to do it. In order to remember that Jacob's trouble, the end of this world, right? The state that the earth is going to be in by the time this age is over is something that we're seeing being built up now, right? Like the things they're inventing and the policies they're putting in place, the conflicts you're seeing around the world, all these things, you can think of it like an artist that is painting a picture, right? Sometimes you see the artist painting and they just throw some paint on the canvas and you're like, what the hell is this? And they're painting, you like, you don't see it. You just see a conglomerate of different colors. Some don't blend well. You're like, what the hell is going on? And as they keep painting, you start to then see the image come. Oh, okay, I see. So that's why you needed the red and the blue. And that's why you started doing it this way. So all the things you see happening in the world right now, they are needed. It's like the paint that's needed. And the Lord is meticulously going over it with his brush of time in order to paint that full picture. Right? Time is the brush that paints the image of prophecy. So as these events go on in the world, which are likened onto the paint, that time, which is the brush, puts it all together. And now you see, oh, this is why they invented this. Oh, this is why they released that. Oh, this is why they had this conflict at this time. This is why this person was elected. This is why this policy went into place. All of these things create the environment needed to fulfill prophecy, for Jacob's trouble to fully take place, for the hour of temptation to come upon the whole world to try it, right? For the nuclear destruction to come and hit, for Yahushua to make his return, the earth needs to be in a certain state. And that is happening now. That is why it's important that we measure the times diligently and we watch these signs, we read these articles, see what's going on in the world, and continuously pay attention. Because you don't really see the full image until the artist is done. Okay? The thing with us is we know what the end image should look like. And now we're looking at how it gets there. And that's where we are in the timeline of prophecy now. All right, so I'm going to end it there. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Rakha Kodash. And until next time, Shalom.